vidi una fotografia, mi dissi perché un giorno non potrei anch'io essere un pilota d'automobile, e tutti gli atti sono stati una conseguenza di questo sogno dell'adolescenza.
So I've got to figure out how to get in it. Had the briefing, flew in yesterday, full explanation, except how to open the door. Easy. This is definitely an F1 style cabin. Feel like Leclerc just hopping into the daily. Oh, here we go. Oh, the sound. They've tuned that exhaust to give it a really quite a raucous tone, guttural. There's only one first time you get to take a brand new Ferrari out on track. And this is going to be a sensational piece of kit. This is pinnacle Ferrari. So much technology packed into this car. Absolutely phenomenal. Slightly difficult to comprehend it. There's so much going on. There's so much technology in this F80 that every system is integrated. Every system overlaps with the next one. There's quite a lot to get your head around. You've got the active aerodynamics. You've then got active suspension. Plus you've got ABS and traction control. With the Manatino system, you can adjust how much of that you want. But even if you turn off the traction control in the CT off or ESC off, which is totally cutting it out, you still have an E-diff. And the E-diff is still going to be working quietly in the background to try and work out what setting to put the diff in to apply the power as well as it can. Plus the electric motors in the front, torque vectoring, and trying to do the same thing. Now you can fling this car around, not say you can't, but this car is built for one reason only, and that is to go extremely fast. And there's a reason for that as well, because this car has 1,000 kilograms of downforce at 155 miles an hour. It's got more in common with a Le Mans prototype than the Ferraris for the past. It's got twice the aero of a LaFerrari. And it's also why you can't lock the brakes when you get on them. Same with a Le Mans car. You can put 110% of braking effort through the brake pedal in a Le Mans car. You will not lock those brakes, even if you don't have ABS. It's not possible. The only time you might get close to the edge is in these slower second gear corners. But the car is just working so hard that it really keeps you away from a point where the tyre might slow down its rotation. So that's part of the reason why you don't feel the flutter of ABS, but it is also down to the fact that there is a KERS recovery system operating this car, and that means there's another system with placing demands on the brakes, and therefore the brake pedal has to be a simulation. So you don't get that granular detail that you had on, say, a 458, possibly even F8 Tributo. This car's just got too much going on to give you that level of granular detail through the pedal, because it's got the KERS recovery system that's based on the F1 system, and it's got the F1 chemistry deploying that power through those front axles and through the rear, complementing this amazing V6 turbo engine. As for the E-turbo, what turbo? I wouldn't even know this car had a turbo. Genuinely, the delivery is so linear, forget it. Zero lag is exactly what they said it would be on the tin. Just playing that throttle. And from the seat position, you can detect exactly how much yaw there is. The car is talking to you all the time. I love the steering wheel, it's got a great shape to it, very F1-like. And it's getting quite good feedback. There's a nice weight to it that makes me feel very in control, very confident in where I'm positioning the car. The active suspension though is quite something else. You don't really feel the car moving around until you get right on the limit, particularly in these fast corners where it's quite almost impossible to believe what the car is going to deliver. You've got to be very brave. Reminds me of Mansell in the 90s, who was famed for just gritting his teeth, trusting the car and hurling it in. It's just capable of fast cornering speeds in the fast corners. The track temperature is 50 degrees at the moment. The ambient in the air is 37. Camera crew are melting. Their cameras are actually melting and shutting down at regular occasions to just get too hot. Now think that this car has got 14 electric motors and those battery systems. How is it managing to cool itself? I can say with fair confidence, there's no other car in this performance bracket that can deliver this much performance for this long without overheating. I'm just beating on this thing, and it's delivering consistent power. This doesn't derate. The battery is giving me the same power output lap after lap. I can feel it under my right foot. There's very few mixed propulsion cars that can do that. In fact, I don't know of anything that will do it to this level. 2 laps, 3 at the most, and the battery derates. But what Ferrari have done is they've been lean with the batteries, and they've picked the 800 volt system. Who cares about voltage? Well, it matters. You get fast charging and you get fast and heatless, or less heat, when you dissipate that energy through the wheels. So that 800 volt architecture is partly why this car is able to maintain its cooling structure and integrity and let me do what I'm doing. It's quite incredible. It's not just that, it's the brakes. These massive Brembo racing discs are from a racing car, some racing compounds that have been conditioned for road use so they don't squeak and screech. That's just antisocial when you pull up in the suburbs in your Ferrari F80 and they're just producing totally reliable stopping power lap after lap. I'm told that this car can do 10 laps consecutive at Fiorano with Rafa at the wheel before it starts to lose any performance through the battery system. Here at Mazzano it's a little bit shorter, a bit twisty. I think I'm going to run out of fuel and strength before the car lets me down. This car is basically a gym on wheels. If you're some sort of pencil neck twerp climbing into this car for the first time and sending it, first time you hit the brakes hard, your face is going to be impregnated by the buttons on the dashboard, because the G-forces are savage, 2.5 at least. There's nothing else on the market that will do it. The AMG 1, the Valkyrie, all of them are notorious for getting cooked. Really, I just salute Ferrari. They've got so many systems at work here, from Formula 1 technology, from the Le Mans 24 hours, from their road car heritage, but it's not a heritage thing. They've just got an army of really proud, passionate, capable engineers. But you've got to think, you need the best electricians, you need the best propulsion engineers, you need the best chassis engineers, you need the dynamic handling, you need the test drivers, the heads of development like Rafa. Everybody has to come together. I forgot the aero. Every single system on this car has to work hand in glove to make this magnificent thing what it is. It is like flying a UFO, and the car's systems are subtle and they do take a little bit of getting used to. The biggest thing is confidence and trust in the high speed. I think there's going to be a large majority of owners that will really enjoy what this car can deliver without quite ever getting near to what it does deliver in terms of sheer performance. This 8-speed gearbox, just phenomenal. Just get that kick with each gear change. And a little bang, just like a sniper rifle going off. Pop, pop, pop. And a little smack in the back as you get the next gear and the next surge of acceleration. Now, I think it is time to try the qualifying mode. So here we go. I've pressed the magic button. I have requested everything for 1 lap. And I'm just going to make sure that it knows where we are, because you've got to select that on here. I go down a little bit, scrolling, to optimize, just to let the car know that we are at Misano for its pre-programmed speciality. So it's going to deploy something like 20% more surge boost from the EVs on the way out of these corners. It's going to give me everything now. Yeah. Basically, all these little straights just got a little bit shorter. It's not a gimmick. There is extra power there, and it's quite significant. There's a lovely pulse through the chassis as you deploy that energy. And you need to respect that there's extra power. Most of it is coming on the exit of the corner. There's no point wasting energy at the higher speeds. It's really about achieving the higher speed early on these straights. So you can carry that speed all the way along. It's the most efficient way to use that surge from the electric motor. And the energy recovery is quite phenomenal as well. Like F1, the curve system is clawing energy back from the brakes, but even the E-turbo, when it's spinning, will try to send some extra juice back into the system to recharge that battery. And because they haven't overdone it, there's not too many battery packs, there's not too much weight. I shudder to call this car a hybrid, really. It sort of isn't. I mean, you can't put this into pure EV mode and cruise into town like nothing happened and you haven't just rocked up in a spaceship. It's not designed for that. That would require more batteries and more weight. And to keep this car at around the 1600 kg mark and keep it nimble, they've made a very sensible decision, which is to go pure performance. These motors are only here for one reason, and one reason only: to deliver punch. Wow, what a lap. Right, I'm going to give the car some TLC now. Thank you very much. This day to remember. This is the new benchmark, the new pinnacle of Ferrari, and I think it's totally unprecedented. In its class, I don't think there's anything as fast as this. I have no idea what could come next in the arms race. That's to be a technological breakthrough to really change the dynamic. But as of now, fastest car in the world.
Who's that doing skids?
Chris Harris.
Who?
Guy from YouTube.
I'll show him.
Ferrari's new hyper weapon. Now, in the old days, you could sum up a car like this fairly quickly. Let's take the F40, 2.9 litre twin turbocharged V8, knocking out 471 horsepower with a top speed of 201 miles an hour and 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. So in old money, the F80 is a twin turbocharged V6 with 3 electric motors producing 1200 horsepower, a top speed of 217 miles an hour and 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds. But there's a lot more to it than that, because this car has about as much in common with the F40 as the F40 had with a penny farthing. This is the fastest and most complicated car Ferrari has ever produced, and every single component on it has only one function, and that is to make it go faster. let's dive into the detail. It's got all of the technology that Ferrari has learned in Formula One and Le Mans 24 Hours, including the infamous S-duct, which steals air from the underside of the floor and whips it across this plane here for extra downforce and basically to tidy up the air so it doesn't get scrappy underneath the floor. Every section has a purpose. Even this air blade here is connected to the door, which is obviously designed for crash safety, but it's actually got a piece of that aero built into it to reduce the drag and fly that air along the side of the car, controlled by this sideboard here. Even this section around the cockpit, which is asymmetrical, they call it the impluvium, named after Roman times where they would catch the rain from the sky to use it for whatever they used it for in the garden. In this case, it's being used to control the air and keep the hot air away from the engine, so it guides it through to cool the intercooler, and you get cold air or colder air going into the engine intake. The other air runs to the back where there's more radiators. These radiators cool the motors at the front. The radiators at the front of the car cool the engine. Behind this beautifully sculpted engine cowling with 6 vents, it's a V6 twin turbocharged. It's the same lump in the 296. It's the same lump that's in the 499P that just won Le Mans for the 3rd time in a row. It's an amazingly impressive unit, and it's got about 290 horsepower more than the 296 motor, and that's down to all the high-grade components they've put into this engine. There's umpteen upgrades to this lump to squeeze the most power possible out of that V6. It's a fantastic piece of kit. Everything you see here is still aerodynamic, and it's still ramming the air underneath this wing as fast as possible. You get used to looking at DRS in Formula One, click of the button, or it automatically drops down, separates those 2 flaps, allows the air to scream through the planes to reduce drag in a straight line. This one, in low speed configuration, pops up and you get a very high angle of attack when you start pushing. But when you're in the straights, it takes a sort of reclining chair position, sort of lays back, almost looks like it's going to generate lift, just to make the car super slippery in a straight line. At the front of the car, there's what I would describe as a sort of opposite of a gurney flap. There's a deployable piece of carbon that looks quite abrupt, that basically shuts down to stall the diffuser underneath the car, to stop the air going underneath it and make it slice through the air like a bullet. All in all, this car produces 1,000 kilograms of downforce with the ability to turn it off in the straights to go faster. The chassis is 50% stiffer than the one in the LaFerrari to cope with all the extra forces, because this is basically the honey badger of aerodynamic devices. Its sole purpose is just to go as fast as humanly possible. Last but not least, the diffuser, which is used to suck the car to the floor. They've managed to make it 1.2 meters longer than the one on the LaFerrari for a total length of 1.8 meters. The longer it is, the more it's pulling the car down. And it's done it subtly because they've angled the gearbox up to allow the diffuser to start earlier to get that Venturi effect. It's pretty magical, and it's actually quite subtle. You wouldn't really notice what it's got underneath. The car is packed with so much technology that I'm gonna have to take the skin off it to show you the rest, because this car's got 14 motors working as actuators for all the different bits of kit to manage the active suspension, the active aero, and a bunch of other stuff which I'll get into next. All these systems add weight, and Ferrari have clawed it back wherever they could, using lightweight materials like titanium and even ditching reverse gear. Reversing is now all done using the electric motors from the front axle. Over the course of dinner with the Ferrari engineers, the conversation drifted naturally into fighter jet technology like the F-35, the Harrier jump jet, Concorde, and then Ferrari's new hyperfoil sailing boat, another outlandish project that breaks conventional norms. The F80 just sits comfortably in the stratosphere with that kind of revolutionary technology. The EV element works more like nitrous oxide to boost the power by 300 horsepower, whilst also enabling torque vectoring across the front axle. These actuators control the main rear wing element. The engine is running right on the edge with a higher compression ratio than they've ever achieved before by using a special NOx sensor detector. It listens for the sounds of uncontrolled ignition detonation inside the cylinder. By raising the position of the driver inside the cockpit, it freed up some space below the driver's feet for 3 pairs of barge boards. These boards are all about controlling the vortices to maximise the efficiency of the Venturi effect, clean up and speed up the airflow, enhance the suction effect from the low pressure, fast flowing air under the floor, and reduce drag. This car lives and breathes on active suspension. Yes, the good stuff that was banned from Formula One because it was too good. The car can adjust its own pitch and control roll, which means it doesn't need anti-roll bars, and crucially, it also means it can control the colossal amount of downforce this platform is producing by positioning itself in the air. The shock absorbers have little gearboxes inside them to control the ride and position of the car's double wishbone suspension, operating in a range of 30 to 50 adjustments per second to cope with bumps and make micro adjustments to the platform's position. The top of the suspension is 3D printed. It was the only way to make the precise shape the designers created to cope with the demanding loads. Very Spider-Man. At low speed, the car hunkers down to get its belly close to the floor and softens the front damping to create mechanical grip. Accelerate hard and the rear instantly supports itself to receive the power, and the nose resists being pulled up, basically annihilating power understeer before understeer has even had its cornflakes.
Having achieved engineering perfection on the track, it was time to see if this car can survive in the wild. You can see nothing through the back of this car because it's just engine. So you've got a camera display up here which works quite well. Objects do appear slightly closer than they are in real life, but actually it's really good high def, and you get a pretty good feeling for what's going on if you can't see it in the side mirrors. But my favourite features are on the steering wheel, because Ferrari are returning to a push button start, which I think is very cool, and they've located controls for the stereo behind the steering wheel. Big fan. Maybe you can change the channel. Left hand volume, right hand channel. Love it. If you put that in the video, boys, I know where you live. Sat nav, links to your phone, you get all the CarPlay business. What I'm really curious about though is how this works on bumpy roads. And this section of Italy is extremely bumpy. It's quite tight as well. So I'm not really looking forward to dealing with actual traffic. The Ferrari comes with bumpy road setting. To be fair, just rumbling out of the circuit with this car, it rides the bumps pretty well. It's fairly well cushioned. So I'm not sure that it's really at risk of being too jarring. But if it is, I'm going to find out. Yeah, it's a rough surface, this. You can kind of hear it. But the car's sort of ironing them out. The car's relatively stiff. The platform, let's face it, undeniably, is built for stability, as opposed to, squidginess. Because the car knows what the ride height is at any given time, you don't get it. You know you're not going to get a crash in the nose or a big dive. If the car hits a bump, it's not going to suddenly compress, bottom out, and create an embarrassing scar on this lovely underbody with all those beautiful dive planes. There's so many cool systems that create, I suppose, a different car for different environments. So in H, hybrid mode, we can cruise around. It's quite subtle, quite calm. Engine revs kept low. You're not going to wake up all your neighbours on the way home. Oh no, it's the toll booth. Oh my God. It's the moment I've dreaded. I haven't really thought about it until now, but it's happening. Pulling up to a tight toll booth with a high concrete plinth and butterfly doors. Can I reach the ticket? And if I can't reach the ticket, can I open the door? This is tense. It's a $3.5 million car. And obviously I want to get close to the plinth, but not so close that the white car scrapes along the side. Please. Sometimes you just wish you had longer arms. Please let me go. Introduce el biglietto. Oh, Shiza. Oh my God. Hello. I need to push the button for assistance. Hello, I don't have a ticket. How do I reach that button? I can't reach the button. This is bad. Alright, I'm stuck. I'm stuck at the toll. I can't open the door. Hello.
Where are you come from?
I came from Misano Circuit. I don't know the answer. I think I'm never leaving. I think I could be stuck here until I run out of fuel. Can I pay you something? Hello? Okay, grazie. Oh, that was tense. Okay, we got this. Grazie. Well, that was easy. All right, off we go again. Here we go. Now this is more the environment that this car likes. A big, fast motorway. I love it. It's great. Flying a spaceship through the public is just wonderful. You feel like Batman. You've got the supersonic speed and everybody else is sort of tinkering around in a car park. In a tunnel. Let's hear it. Whoa! Oh! I've not heard that before. You completely forget that this car has got a turbo. When you're driving it, you're just totally unaware of it. It's a bit of a shame, really. It's almost become, I don't know, like a piece of condenser from a fridge. It's like, yeah, whatever, it's got a turbo. The turbo in this car is magical. It's twin turbo, I should say, with the E-turbo. And I didn't know you could hear it. So until just then, bouncing off the walls, you hear that. There is a turbo at work here, a very, very clever one. So it's imperceptible in the drive, but that sound. Oh, che bella! Nobody on this motorway has ever seen this car before. There's a chap in the van here that's slowed down in the fast lane to get a better look. I don't blame him. This thing is so otherworldly, but it's wonderful. You're in something that's brand new, hyper performance, and it's a Ferrari in Italy. Everybody is going to turn their head to check this car out. It's pretty mega. I'm just the occupant. The car is the star. Something very cool cruising down this freeway is this car is just cantering along, doing 130 kph. The wing is in the chilled out mode, just going for minimum drag, very easy, less than 2,000 revs. Engine's barely turned on, it's just chilling out in 8th gear. And the sense you get from the aero package, on the track when you're attack, it's all about the balance. The car is trimming the attitude, keeping the nose in the right place, trimming the yaw and the rake and the rate at which the springs are working. But on the motorway, you're just thinking, this is incredible. The car is just sailing through the air so easily.
Ferrari have perfected the engineering, massive tick. It rides well on a bumpy road, tick. It can handle a speed bump, tick. And then for the acid test, what are the public things? You buy a hypercar, you want to be seen looking good. That is the best way to salute this car. A wheelie on a moped. Salute you, sir. I'm going to go and unwind and have myself a coffee and an ice cream and cool down and just see how much attention this car attracts.
It's not exactly James Bond, is it? The ice cream. The car definitely is. Everything is melting, sweltering in this weather, except the car. All the systems are in there. 3 electric motors, V6 twin turbo, 1200 horsepower, sweltering weather. Oh, as cool as a breeze. People love it, which is great to see it. I love it. Ferrari is such an Italian hero story, and 80 years in the making, hence the F80. It's the perfect car for cruising around Italy, cruising anywhere, going across Europe in something that is built to perfection to deliver performance on tap and still take it into the wild to have a great journey.